Hello.
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 Hello. Hello. Oh God. Fun game. I pressed the wrong button and yeah, I've got.
No worries. Look at me. I'm working in the background. I don't know what's. I'm going to put this on. Ooh, getting there. Oh,
There we go. Right. Should we go roll credits?
yes. Don't tell me. Let's roll credits. Hang on a minute. Right, where am I? Hang on. Don't tell me. I know. Yes, here we go. Welcome to the kitchen sink. We will chat, we will make you think. You will not want to go to the loo. You could miss a lot if you have that poo. Stay and watch and join in. Yeah. Woo! Hello, welcome to the kitchen sink. We're almost professional, almost. And after last week, I'm alcoholic again this week, Lucy.
I'm not.
G&T.
Oh, look at that. We've already got first comment.
Hey, it's Ray. Hi, Ray. How's it going? You well?
Yes. That link I sent you. We need to double check that we sent Claire the right link.
I forwarded your link and I said, click on this one.
Yes, I may have gone into the machine and I may have pressed go live on somebody else's show.
Oh God, I'll get back to it. Hang on, bear with me.
I am literally just writing the apology letter now.
Hang on.
Yeah, it's not the right one. The one I sent you is not the right one. Abort.
I'm just glad I got something right.
I have no idea how that happened. I went in and I thought, this is strange. The background's not there. This isn't there. So I went into somebody else's show. I've changed all their background. I pressed go live and it said, you don't want to go live until Sunday at 4 p.m. And I'm thinking, I think I know what I want, mate. Don't be telling me this. I know what I want. Pressed it, did it. And I'm like, well, that's strange. It's not come up on my phone. I've been a little bit of a space cadet today. Brilliant.
That's all right. It's your turn, to be fair, isn't it? Ray, don't we always? Ray says, bit glum to be TBH, to be honest. So
to be honest.
TBH, WTF, IRL, everything's an anachronism. Is that an acronym?
I don't know.
Do you know, I'm on water. Lemon water.
An anachronism.
I'm gonna drink the lemon water and save the pink G&T for when Claire comes on because it's already gone to my head. Because I had a bit of a busy day and I haven't stopped to have my tea. I normally have my tea, but I haven't done that today. Oh, this is fascinating, isn't it? Hello, hey y'all. Hello, we got a newbie. I don't recognise this one. Juicy, juiced bash herb.
Juice
Bashherb.
Hello. Hello, everybody. My name is Juice
Bashherb. Love it. Hello. Oh, Angie Belcher. Thanks, babes. Another one that says looking sexy. Thank you very much. Can I just say, while Lucy's catching up with herself,
apologising, you mean, profusely.
My hair went well today, guys.
It does. It is looking good.
Thank you. It went shockingly, actually quite well, and it was a bit dry at the ends. A bit of serum on the end, so now it's finally. I think it's looking good. And I'm over the shock. 6 weeks it's been since I had a haircut. I'm over the shock of it being super short because it went up. It was like there, and then went up to like there, and now it's down a bit.
To all our male viewers, you're welcome.
We need the viewers. We need the viewers. Last week we had 10, today we've got 53. I suspect that's for our fantastic special guest, Clare Ferguson-Walker. Oh, God, I do know her name because I'm the one who invited her. Clare Walker.
I think we're being trolled, but I'm not sure.
Oh, yay. Cool. We haven't had one for a while. Bunch of midday drunk crumpet gobbling old what? Thoughts. Makes me funny already. Matthew Mullen. Oh, Matthew. What's wrong with you, boy? What's happening,
You
babe?
okay, hon? You okay?
Okay.
You okay?
You haven't seen that show before, have you?
Acronym.
I suggest you piss off and have a little look and see what we do. And unless you're a 13-year-old boy, which looking at your face, at your photo, you look like a middle-aged man. So come on, be a bit nice.
He's holding on to the cure, still looking like it's like a relevant look.
Oh. All right, emo, calm down. Acronym. Oh, do you know, don't come for me today, guys. I've had a bit of a day, let me just say.
Last time Sarah went to get a haircut, unfortunately, they did take a little bit more than they wanted. And due to that fact, I haven't asked her about her hair now in a good, how many weeks?
I think we've gone 3 weeks, maybe 2. Maybe 2 weeks with the hair. Well, according to Ray, my hair looks great. Thanks, Ray.
There we go. So I've started working in a restaurant just to help my comedic career. And I don't know how to work any of this into comedy routines, but I just when people don't finish their plates of food, because I was brought up a fat lass, I sort of take their plates and smile, and as soon as my back is turned, I'm like, what's wrong? Why haven't you eaten your food? What is it? Too good for it? Who goes out to a restaurant with a diet? Like, come on, sort your face out.
Who's not eating their food? What food is it? What kind of restaurant are you in? And also, do you not want to be fired yet?
I don't want to be fired yet, but I've told everyone it's like it's a carvery, and the food is lush, absolutely lush. And I don't know how to make this work into a comedy routine, but why would you go to a carvery and order non-carvery food?
Yes,
that to me says psychopath.
I'm a vegetarian/vegan most days, and I have to say I love a bloody carvery, obviously without the meat. But like, you can get, like, near me you got a Toby and there's just a shitload of veg, like £3.
I've got a parsnip and have some thin gravy.
Oh, it's what I like, the sauces, like the apple sauce, cranberry, just all the sauces on there as well. Fantastic. Do you know, I'm a little bit Angie's telling us I'm a massive CFW fan. Angie, you and me both. I love Clare Ferguson-Walker. I love Clare. She's amazing. So I can't wait for her to come on. Lucy's you're a bit of a newbie to Clare, aren't you?
Yeah, I've enjoyed looking up or reading the articles and watching the poetry and the stand-up. Well, the brilliant thing is with when we do our comedy reviews, it's usually something I know and then you know, vice versa, and we learn about new different comics. And for this one, this one is completely new to me, so I'm very excited.
Yes.
I know that we're all artists. I know that, you know, Angie, you're an artist. I'm an artist. Claire is an artist. But like, I feel like saying like, but you know, Claire's a real one.
She's like legit, like my friend Alex, like legit artist, like not with the, you know, when anyone says artist, I've always mentally got the word piss in front of it. Claire does not even have the word piss in front of the word art. She's a proper, there's no she's a proper artist. So I'm a bit like, oh, and like like at the beginning where you're fangirling over lots of people. I'm a bit of a fangirl for Claire. She's just amazing, and yeah, she's so good. But I saw her. Well, anyway, no, let's crack on later on because we've got other stuff to catch up on. What was I going to say to you? Oh yeah, Ray doing old Pink Floyd impersonation there. Yeah, so tell us more about your restaurant. Are you enjoying it?
Absolutely, I am enjoying it. All the people I'm working with are absolutely lovely. And even though I haven't done sort of restaurant work for bloody ages, it comes back too quickly. You know, how am I going to cope? And the next minute, you've got 3 plates on your arm and you're throwing.
I bet it's a bit like riding a bike. You just don't forget it, do you?
No. And when the lady started, the lady that started at the same time as me, is a bit older than me, but she's never ever done any restaurant work, and I was like, how?
Everyone's up. Although I've done bar work. I've never done restaurant work though. If I'm looking distracted, it's because I'm trying to find the banner thing to take that bit down, but I suppose it can stay there for now, is it?
Yeah, the Clare Ferguson-Walker bit.
Yes. Oh, yeah, and to our newbies, can I just say, if you're watching this going, what WTF is this bullshit, right? This is our show. This is what we do. So me and Lucy, we met are we on week 23 now? Thanks to the lockdown has given us many fantastic things. One of the things that has given me is Lucy Orchard. And because I used to, Ray, run Rafaz Comedy Club. It might still come back, who knows? But I interviewed Lucy for a podcast for it, and we were like, let's start a show. And this is it. This is the result. So the first half hour, so you got us till 6:30, waffling on about any old shit. And then we got Claire coming on at 6:30 to 7:30, and then 7:30 till 8-ish. Depends how drunk I get on my single G&T. And if Lucy's got stuff to do, we're going to review. We review a comedy show every week, don't we? And this week it is Joan Rivers' "Don't Start With Me," and I'm really looking forward to that review as well because I did not realise when I suggested it, because we take it in turns to suggest it. It was my suggestion last week. Did not realise. I was like, okay. Yeah, we'll chat about it in terms of aging well. Yeah, so
she thinks that she says it, but we'll come back to the review in the third section.
Yes. So for anyone new, that's our show. This is how it's going to be. And look at us explaining what actually happens. That's cool, isn't it?
Oh my god! It was like we're Hannah Gadsby.
Well, I think we're having a mental breakdown.
And then as in we're explaining the show as part of the show.
Yeah, don't tell Hannah that I said that.
We reviewed Doug, and she did 15 minutes of explaining the show before doing the show, which is part of her show. Remember that time?
Yeah. No, it was weeks ago. It was week 4, wasn't it?
Right. So I've got a gig tomorrow.
Oh my god! What, IRL or online?
IRL.
Oh my god! Tell us all about it. It's so exciting. I was just chatting to someone that we're going to have on in a few weeks, Clint Edwards, and he was saying about his first live gig, and it's just so exciting. Carry on, Lucy. Tell us all about it.
I have decided go hard or go home. So I'm off to Fulham to do a roast battle.
Oh yes! Oh, I'm looking forward to that. Oh, so are you all prepared? Are you prepped? Have you right? Have you spoken to the person you're going to roast? Will they cry?
Yes, because he's my He's my comedy brother. He's my comedy brother. So that's the reason why we're doing it. It is so strange to sit on your own in a room. For people that don't know what a roast battle is, it's where you go up against another comedian and you're not very nice to each other for comedic value.
Yes.
Cheap shots and and barbed comments are what you need. Matthew Mellon, just to interrupt for those of you that are going to be listening to this on the podcast later, the goth is back and he's written, I wonder if Joan Rivers looks less like a skeleton now that she's mouldering in her grave. I don't know. 1 second. I'm just getting a message from from the grave, from Joan. She could give a shit what you think.
She's rich, even in death. She doesn't care.
Maybe get in touch with Melissa. She might care. So for the roast battle, I've got my comedy brother who's on the same comedy course. I don't know if I've ever mentioned I did a comedy course, and it's with Phil Wadham. It's so strange to sit on your own in your room with a pen and paper, thinking about somebody you really care about, and trying to be as nasty as possible. It's yeah, and we've sent each other these really long texts like, oh, I'm like this, I do that, this happened to me, to give each other the gift of insults, and to sort of, it's almost like a therapy session. Like, I've had a lot of jobs in my past, I don't really do well with boyfriends. I'm like, oh,
who does? I have to say, did you take my advice and watch some old roast battles from of yore?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
So and, you get it, isn't it? That it's okay to be mean because that's what they want. Yes,
it's just like I've written jokes. I'm happy with them, but they're this mean. Sorry for listeners, I'm holding my hands up. they're about 5 out of 10 mean, and I need to be 10 out of 10. If that makes sense, I need to take it up a little bit.
Have you got any?
I feel like I'm domestic.
Have you got any to hand? Maybe we could all help. Maybe everyone watching can, if you come up with a premise, maybe we can all come up with some suggestions to be even meaner. The other thing I think as well is usually you're on the left, aren't you? If I click the wrong thing, I'm a bit like
no. It just means you went in. It just means you went in first. It's absolutely. This is how it used to be. Do you remember in the old days when we didn't? Remember when we were just on one
we did everything? Yes. Right, come on, come up with a premise. We've got plenty of people watching, and Matthew Mullen. He's been a bit mean already.
This is one of the jokes. This is one of the jokes that I've discarded. Ooh, but if everybody writes it, it gives me there because I don't want to do my best material before the night. You know what I mean? Yeah. Right. So, all right. All joking aside, it's amazing to have. Oh,
Hugh! Hi, Hugh.
I've only got off. Hugh! Interrupt
just
the show. Just say hello. Just hello. Hugh, her background is fine. Leave it. Right. So I've written. All joking aside, it's amazing to have Phil in our comedy troupe, and on behalf of all the group, all the girls, I just want to say, none of us are ever going to fuck you. It's not that funny. That's why I out.
Yeah, all you have to do is reduce the premise because you've got an awful lot of words there. You could literally put that down to, it's lovely to have you on board, Phil. By the way, just so you know, none of the girls going to fuck you. I think that'll be fine.
Okay, this
one. Class B.
Phil's making a strong name for himself in the comedy scene. Every woman knows his name and says, yeah, me too.
I like that. I personally like that. What do you think, everyone? Hopefully we have some women watching as well as Angie. We usually just have a few men. So yeah.
Right.
I like that one.
This one, right, okay. Phil can be very passionate once you get him started on Bristol Rovers, you never will. I don't know how it finishes. I always leave the room to self-harm, so there's one lasting memory of the conversation. That one's out. That one's out.
I
It's
don't
too
know.
long, but it's Phil can be very passionate once you get him started on the Bristol Rovers. Well, I can't really finish that sentence as whenever he started, I've exited the room to self-harm, so at least I had one lasting memory of the meeting.
I don't. I reckon the self
That
harm
went
needs to be at the end of the punchline.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ray
But it's
says,
just, I don't know. It's the first one down, but the second one is fine.
yeah,
It's just one of those things. Like, I know his are really good. I know his are really good at me. And
right.
it's and I'm overthinking it, and I'm thinking, oh well, mine aren't going to be as good. And I've already done that thing that I watched Kiri doing the roast battle again, and now I'm like, oh, never be gonna hurt.
Oh no!
Because,
Right. So, what are you going to do about that? Because you know where you've gone wrong there, don't you?
I've compared myself to another person, and that shouldn't happen.
Yes.
Uh,
You can only compare yourself to you. You're only in competition with yourself. But easier said than done, isn't it? You're going to be awesome,
yeah.
Lucy. It's so funny.
If you've
Genuinely,
ever been
I'm
in a
not taking the piss.
if you've ever been in a 3 meter radius of our Phil, then he'll have told you he's been backpacking, just in a dire attempt to sound travelled and relevant. But it's more likely he spent the summer in a dark room learning to Photoshop his face into spring bake videos. That one's off. But then I just sat there imagining Phil learning how to do Photoshop. It is so strange. Like, I like this person. Here's a piece of paper. Let's make a spidergram about his worst features and see if I can riff.
Yeah, go. Yeah, but when I did the roast battle with Charlie, I tried not to make it too personal, you know.
Yeah,
So you can do that where it's just like something about where he lives, or his town, or that's what I did with Charlie. Mind you, she went for the jugular. She was brilliant, and in that circumstances, that's fine. Although I was in a roast for somebody's birthday once, and I did say he had a face like what did I say? Something like an old potato or something, and he did not take that very well. Oh, I think Matthew's not from around here. Brilliant. Where are you from, Matthew?
I know. It's like it's like Miss Marple investigates, isn't it? Like limey female versions of Laurel and Hardy.
How
Well,
dare
first of
you?
all,
I'm not English. We're not English. We're from Wales, actually. Should I put my accent on?
I was like, yeah,
Limey,
not English.
indeed.
Oh, how am I?
And we're not like Laurel and Hardy at all, because they were brilliant. and very physical. You twat.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on. If you're going to insult us, you can do better than that. Come on, Matthew. Right.
Yeah.
But also, where are you from? Stay with us. Talk to us about where you're from. I want to get inside. I want to figure out what's wrong with you. This is why I've chosen to stay single for 10 years. I can't do free counselling for another man ever again. Yeah, tell us where you're from.
So I tried to have it that I had a gig Friday and Saturday, so to make going to London worth it.
Oh, yes.
But Saturdays fell through, which means no. I was trying to do a couple and then therefore making the journey worth it. But unfortunately, they all fell through, but the roast battle is still on. So I don't know how the new rule of 6 sanctions are going to work. I haven't got a fucking Scooby-Doo, as they say.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit scary, really, isn't it? The old bloody... do you know, this morning I was a bit fed up because I had loads of stuff planned, and all of a sudden it's all fallen through because people are like, people are like, Oxford School, which is close to me, their sixth form is closed because of COVID. that was on the news today, apparently, my mum and dad said. So it's like, oh, God. Do you know, it feels like we're sliding back into another bloody lockdown. So what do you think? Yeah, it feels like it, the local lockdown.
It's it's like the younger people have all thought they're a little bit untouchable. And I know this is a very big sweeping statement, but it does feel as though the young people, a previous guest, Chris Choppin, put on his somebody put on his Facebook I think it was Chris Choppin. He said that there was something that went on at Doncaster, and because of that, it ended up reinfecting a lot of people. Did you read Chris's Facebook recently?
No. I know I should, but I haven't.
But
no.
It was, I think it was a case of they could almost pinpoint what brought the spike back to South Wales.
Oh, God. I don't know. I just worry about saying, hey, it's this one group of people, because I was in the supermarket this afternoon and there were a lot of old biddies with the masks down here showing off their little nosies and getting very close. So, you know, it could be lots of things. Right.
It's those contagious chins.
It's the old folk, the chins, the hairy chins, and the waddling, and I'm just gonna reach by here, Lev. And you're like, oh, that's not 2 meters. Get away from me, Grandma. Right, and on that happy note, should we bring Clare in? Because we've got someone in the dining room.
We've got a guest in the dining room.
And I know there's so many people here specifically for our amazing guest. Yeah, oh, that's a good one. Sorry, before we bring her in, Ray says, rule of 3 is funny, rule of 6, not so much. Good one. Right, so I'm going to big up Clare Ferguson-Walker. I love her lots. Welcome to, she's in the dining room. Welcome to the kitchen. I don't know why we do this, because the dining room is nicer than the kitchen, but we're bringing them into the kitchen. Welcome, everybody, to Clare Ferguson-Walker. Yay! Hello.
Oh, please don't throw your pants at me just yet. Oh, the flowers. I'm fine, except that I'm having to hold my phone. So I'll probably drop it a few times, you know, and move around, and mostly just like check my own hair. That's the worst thing about these bloody meetings, isn't it? Zoom meetings, or where you just constantly go, oh, do I really look like that to other people? Shit. So yeah, I might move around a bit. I'm fine. Talking of grandmas with hairy chins, yeah, I felt I felt like a cruel link to bring me on. I'm loving having a mask so that I don't have to bother plucking my chin hairs. It's been great. It's just been fantastic. Straight eyebrows. Yeah, fine. I'm fine. How are you all? I want an alcoholic beverage now that I'm here with you. I feel like we're out having a drink.
Oh, that's good. Rather than even in the 2 seconds I spoke to you both, I need a drink. It's more that we're all out. Yay! I've got a G&T.
Chin hairs, alcohol.
Yeah. We all need vodka. Vodka's good for the old water bottles, isn't it?
Yeah,
no one can tell.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't go down too well in Zumba class, though. You know, after 20 minutes of sipping on gin. Like, yeah, I got my mood. Suddenly thinking of me, trying to pull in a disco. So get off my leg, says the instructor. Honestly, they're so square. They're so square. Sorry, waffling. How is it?
No, we love it. We love it. We love a good old waffle, don't we?
Everyone all right? Yeah.
Yes.
It's been a funny old time. Hello, my lovely.
Lucy, by the way.
Hello, Lucy. Lovely to meet you. How are you doing? You're right.
I'm doing
She's
very
Where do you
well.
live, Lucy?
She's grumping because I should have introduced you, and I was very rude and didn't because I thought I
Were
just
you?
didn't.
Did you take the thunder? Did you steal
So-
the intro thunder?
I think I did. I'll pay for that later. Let me tell you. Not really.
Oh, there'll be a whooping later. Like
I'm in South. I'm in Southwest. I'm in Mid Devon.
Brilliant.
I'm originally
What?
from South
You're
Wales.
miles away. Wow.
Yes,
Hello, all the way
but
over there.
I'm in an area where we can be trusted to wash our hands and see people.
Oh, not round here, love. Not like round here. Christ, can't do anything. I think there's going to be another lockdown coming, isn't there? It's going to fricking happen. Oh.
But I think
I quite enjoyed it, to be honest. If I'm really honest, the first bit, it was just like, oh no, all my work's fallen away. I'm going to have to just stay home and not do anything. Oh no. But yeah, it has got like insanely boring at times, and I do think I've gone a bit mad a few times. I've definitely had a couple of kind of, blips of actual insanity where you start kind of, I don't know, like so Groundhog Day, isn't it? It's been so Groundhog Day. Kind of wake up in the morning and it's like, oh, has this just been like one continuous moment? Are we being experimented on? Well, just you can really understand how people can end up disappearing down sort of conspiracy theory rabbit holes. I've been outside thinking, is this like an interactive version of Black Mirror? It's very, very well done, this third season.
Yeah.
Well done, Charlie Brooker. Interactive.
Yeah.
I have to
see that coming.
I have to bring this up. Have you seen the amazing, when I say amazing, thick, stupid thing that Noel Gallagher has said?
What a wally, what a fool. Yeah.
Oh my God! For those of you, for the listeners, especially for our one listener Nigeria, because
hi.
You're in Nigeria. Thank you very much. The reason why I'm thanking somebody off out behind the camera is because they brought me my gin and tonic.
Oh, hi, Lucy's
Why do I not have millions to bring me gin and tonic?
I used the app and then booze appeared. It's brilliant. Noel Gallagher put that he doesn't agree with masks.
I know.
If he gets the virus, it's his own fault. And because of that, that's why he's using private planes so he can get around the sanctions. Yeah, that's the reason why I've not used private planes.
Yeah, he's
murdering
a knob,
old people and contributing to climate change in one fell swoop. And a man who appears to be growing his own busby. If you look at his hair at the moment, seriously, have a look at it. It looks like it's sort of like a felted version of Loco hair. It's quite impressive. Like, not in an attractive way, but in a way that you can sort of use him to get rid of cobwebs around your house. No, if you could, just lean over there. That's one of those cobwebs. Just about all he's useful for at the moment, I'd say. He's a fucking. Oh, he's so smug as well, isn't he? So smug. And Christ. And Jedward have been sort of putting him in his place, haven't they? Who'd have thought that? Who saw that coming? Who fucking saw that coming for 2020? Jedward would be the moral compass. The moral compass we didn't know we needed.
I think the more important thing is, have they got an album to promote? Because if they have
they? That's all it's about, isn't it? It must be. It's got to be a publicity stunt. Oh, poor Jedward. I don't know anything about them at all.
Yeah, Jed would have become the social media voice of reason, and apparently one of the biggest jokes in Ireland is that Jim Core is an absolute fucking nutter, and he loves he's a couple of steps away from signing up to David Icke's sort of way of thinking, sort of tinfoil hat and lizard people.
Oh, and, reptilian people, the reptilian people.
Jim Core went on.
Oh, as in like the cause, as in like the cause. the brother of the cause.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
him, yeah, who Donna Eyre famously in the early 90s in an interview on some breakfast TV asked them how they knew each other.
Love it.
How do we know each other? Yeah,
Jim
bless her.
Paul was going on about how the freedom marches were good in Ireland and how people should march to not wear a mask, and I think I think Jedward said something to him and he fought back, and I think Jedward went, I think everyone would agree there was no point you being in the band.
Oh, cruel mic drop moment there from Jedward. It's kind of true. It was surplus to requirement, wasn't he, Jim Core? What did he even play? I hope his middle name is Apple. Or Hard.
Yeah.
Jim Hardcore.
He's more softcore than hardcore, though, isn't he?
He's just though not, is he? I just remember the lead singer because she was really fit, wasn't she? What was her name?
No,
Fit Core.
she was beautiful. That's Andrea. Andrea Core.
Andrea Core. Yeah.
Sexy Core. Look at you.
They were all it's so sad, Rick. All the girls were gorgeous in that band, and Jim wasn't anything really. Bless him.
Well, who remembers Jim? No, he wasn't. Oh, gutted. Can you imagine being a sibling in a family of absolute hotties and you're just there, like, not even quite making mediocre?
Right.
Oh, I feel sorry for Jim Core, even if he is a mask Ike.
No,
mask denier.
No sympathy for Jim Core. No sympathy for Jim Core. No. No
NHS.
That's true. Oh yeah, it's true. When you start thinking of people being ventilated in the NHS, sympathy just goes out the window, doesn't it? It really does. Yeah, it's true.
I just think
if Monica, his name is James Stephen Ignatius Core.
Oh, Ignatius.
Oh my lord, Ignatius! Wow, that just makes me think. Look at anything Core. Ignatius Core.
I think that's the most interesting thing about him.
Well, it is, isn't it? What's it again? Ignatius? No, I've forgotten it already.
Ignatius.
Oh, is my fringe gone
Ignatius,
terrible?
that's
Sorry.
a type of rock.
Fringe just great. It is. It's like the different. It's not sedimentary. It's the kind of rock that forms just under pressure, isn't it?
I don't know. I only know about it because of the film.
You can't throw a fact in
that I watched a million times.
That's like a Google moment, isn't it? I don't know, Ted. I didn't know I'd have to answer a series of follow-up questions to my one fact.
I'll say yes then.
Sedimentary rock. That's like layers, isn't it? It's layers. Yeah.
I genuinely.
Hi, viewers. Tune in to find out about geology. I can't even speak. Can't even say the word geology. It's geology, isn't it? The study of rocks.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
A natural pause where no one knows how to follow that. No, neither do I. And over to Life on Earth with Diane.
Sorry, I have to check an urgent message.
Has someone messaged the show?
Are we not allowed to swear, Lucy? I thought we were allowed to swear.
I don't know. What happens if you swear to? Have you got like a number of swears that you're allowed? Is there like a swear quota? They have that, don't they? In some films,
they can hear us swearing.
Some films and TV programs you're allowed some swearing. So you have to kind of think really carefully about where you F and Jeff all the way through, because you get like a quota. You get a quota of swear words, and once you go over it, I don't know, the
and
camera.
You can swap swear words, can't you? You can swap maybe one F for two bloodies.
Have they got they've got a value system They've got a value system, with
Yes,
the
they
C word being at the very top, one imagines, because no one wants to hear conservative. Hey!
Hey, brilliant.
Thanks,
that's my-
hi, here all week and the week after. God
That's my
help us.
favourite joke in Hot Fuzz is, you know, the bit where they're all put in where they're all put in the swear box, and he put in 50p's in the swear box, and then he says,
Yeah,
I can't remember the joke, but I love it. That's my favourite bit. Rewatch Hot
that
Fuzz,
is, and
everyone.
it's quite subtle. It's quite a subtle little moment, isn't it? The swear box gag in Hot Fuzz. Yeah, genius. They're genius, those boys, aren't they? They're so clever. I'm so glad they kind of came to prominence as they did. He did do a little tiny bit of stand-up at the very beginning, though, Simon Pegg, which honestly, Google it. It's worth watching. His timing's like absolutely spot on, but he clearly just leapfrogged. Was like, yeah, fuck stand up, this is actually really shit, I'm gonna make some films.
The best quote Hot Fuzz is, if you want to be the big man in town, get yourself down the model village, yeah?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
So
That's brilliant. I live in a model village. Everyone behaves really well.
Hey!
Hey, come on. That's like saying I love anal sex. I just need everything to be in a certain place at the right time and touched in exactly the right way. Thanks.
Just to go
laughing at me, MJ.
when you said about certain movies only being allowed certain swear words, can I be quite geeky? This is my little. I love it
out,
when
man.
Can we stop you, Lucy?
No.
We can't stop you, so geek away.
Do we have actually a choice? Do we actually have a choice there? No, you freaking don't. When I say can I be geeky, what I really mean is shut up, because I'm about to be.
I'm not geeky. So, have you seen the remake of The Hustle with Rebel Wilson?
No. Oh, I have. Yeah, I love her.
Ooh, is it worth watching?
Okay. Right. So the people that do the ratings,
I'd say so.
Right, people that do the ratings for the movies, they wanted to make it an R rating because obviously they wanted to say that.
What is R rating? What's R?
I think it's an 18. Ooh,
racy.
A new rating. R for racy.
Yeah.
Yeah, racy.
She took the MPAA, she fought them, took them to court, and got it put down to a PG-13 because she didn't agree that the way they graded a woman's movie that used naughty words in the same way that they may grade a more masculine environment.
Really? Oh, and interesting. And she won it. That's so cool. That's so cool. Yeah, that's a good fact, actually. That's a good feminism fact, that one. Yeah, she's a good girl, and she Rebel Wilson.
Went in there with pages and pages of film transcripts and said, right, in the Anchorman, they said this, we say this, how come they're a 13 and we're an R? And she went through all the movies and she's sort of going, well, that says pussy, and that one says ball bag, and this one says...
Beautiful. Well, and it's true, isn't it? I think, words associated with the female part probably, do elicit more sort of shock, don't they? It just does. As we say, the C word is like sort of considered the worst, isn't it? Whereas its actual meaning is like a trustworthy old friend, apparently, or one of its original meanings. I'm going to be
one of my
geeky.
best friends.
It comes from it's a Sanskrit word. Yeah, my best mate is a total one of them. Yeah, it's a Sanskrit word, though, isn't it? It comes from kundalini. I think it's a goddess actually called Kunti. That's actually her name, and she's like, the source of all goddess Kunti, and she's like the source of all life in the universe and highly revered, and that's how the word originated. Fact, fans.
That's a brilliant fact. Thank you. That's brilliant.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it's an old Sanskrit word.
Next time I'm shouting that at an audience member, I'm like, I'm not swearing at you. So
Right.
don't come for me.
Not swearing. I'm referring to an ancient Muslim goddess, I'll have you know. How dare you? How dare you very much? Yeah.
I've got to say, I do love my goddesses.
Brilliant.
And you are a goddess.
Oh, God, love a
walking
goddess.
this on Earth, Claire.
Thanks. Yeah, the Venus of Willendorf.
Yeah.
Got the body of a goddess. Venus of Willendorf.
The first time you'll find the C word in print, though, it actually derives from the word quent, which was in Chaucer's Wife of Bath in the 1300s.
Oh, I love that. That's a good one. That's
Did
a
you
good
say
literary fact.
It was like quent, 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 and
I had Quim. I had Quim.
like
Close
quim,
enough.
but
Quivering,
quent. I have to say, of my English A level class, when she pointed it
Quim,
out,
naturally unshaven.
it's the only thing I remember from that lesson for that entire 2-year period. Is that
So you could regurgitate it now. It was all worth it, babe. It was all worth it. Definitely.
I have to say, for those, I mean, if Chaucer's watching, I think your writing is awful, and the only reason you're famous is because you're old.
Yeah, 1 star, Chaucer. 1 star. 1 star.
Although, Lucy, did you not hear last year's Archer's version of Chaucer? The Archers last year.
Oh,
Lucy,
we're
like the
going
Archers,
on a
kind of.
pilgrimage. Oh, we're off on a pilgrimage.
We're pilgriming over here.
Oh,
Jazzer, get off my milk ground.
It was the most action they'd had at Brookville.
oh, various northern stereotypes involving animals. Let's go.
Yeah. And really push people. That's the Archer's way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the Archer. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Have you heard the dreadful news? Have you heard? Actually, I've hardly ever listened to the Archers, but people who like it really love it, don't they? And I think there was quite a controversial. There was a bit of a really. Someone up there loves the Archers. Oh, it's all can't bloody do it.
We love it.
I love the Archers. I know, it's all counterintuitive. That's why I'm like holding my face weird, because anyway, I've got a better side, and it's not the side I'm thinking it is.
Why will that work?
It's like riding one of those bikes. It's like riding one of those novelty bikes that goes the wrong fucking way. Oh, I've effed. Hang on, I'll put some money in it. I'll donate some money to charity.
We've been doing this for over 20 weeks, and whenever Sarah tries to work out how to point at me, she points the wrong way, and then to reverse it, she just keeps pointing the same way.
She's been doing it.
She'll change hand and just keep pointing.
Like, why isn't it working? It's working in real life.
Oh, it's working. Right hand. It's because I imagine she's over there. That's why I kept doing that.
Yeah. And of course, you're just pointing off to the edge of the phone.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Don't apologise. It's really funny. So, you both do stand up? So, have you had any actual physical, real life gigs at all through all of this? Have either of you actually gigged?
I've had one gig.
Have
one
you?
gig
In the park. In the park.
It was a proper gig. It wasn't like I went, I've had a tit full of this, I'm off to the park and shouting my jokes to the
Right, you lot! I'm just going to pick up my megaphone and
have
with
some
my
of this.
gags. Yeah. You over there! Any married couples in the house?
Dragging a 3-litre bottle of cider with her.
Have we got any lovers in?
Anyone on the first date?
Yeah.
You look young. Stop fingering that girl. Why have I got all Archers on her? Stop fingering that girl.
I did that when Lady Chaucer. We're going on a pilgrimage so that I may learn how to please my lady more. Oh, that's brilliant. So one gig. And what about you, Lucy? Have you managed to do anything physical in the real world?
I have got a gig tomorrow, IRL.
Oh, frickin' hell. No one's asking me to any gigs. It's not on. I'm actually gig jealous now. I've hardly done anything, but then I haven't really sort of put myself particularly forward for anything. There is that. I haven't made myself available. There is that. We're supposed to have learned sort of several languages and learned how to sort of play musical instruments, haven't we? Decorated the whole house.
I decorated the room. Can I show you my room? Sorry, Lucy.
Yeah, have you decorated?
In my room. Right.
Have you
okay.
Decorated?
So this is my office and spare room.
It's a nice colour, to be fair. It's a lovely colour. That's lovely.
Hold on to your hats, right? Look,
yeah.
This is office, business in the front, party in the back.
Oh my god!
Look at that! My favourite. I love Elvis.
Sarah, she's gone.
Oh no! She's so amazed by my fantastic room. Claire couldn't cope.
Your majestic mint threw her out.
Come back. Well, Claire's has I think her internet connection hasn't been fantastic, so hopefully it's just a temporary little blip and Claire will be back. I'm just cracking onto Facebook. Come back.
Joe Pitt, if you're shy blum. We forgot this. Boom.
What?
Right.
Oh no. That's the least of our worries at the moment. Everyone, I'm hoping Claire will come back. Don't disappear, because Angie's asked for a poem. Hopefully, you know.
Oh, I don't know what we both have a whole week between each episode, and every week we come flapping at this show like 5 minutes to go. I'm picking food out of my teeth, pressing the wrong buttons.
Maybe she's just like, I've had enough. That's the last I need.
Those two, they don't stop hanging on about the Archers. I'm off.
Oh, Angie's asking me for a song now. Okay. I haven't done songs for years, but I'll try and think of one. I'm just messaging Claire on Facebook. Come back.
If anyone's got eyes on Claire, please give her a poke. I had one sip of gin and the guest left. I didn't realise I was that vicious a drunk. Oh, I'm really freaking out now about tomorrow. It's been coming at me for so long. I'm now really nervous about it, but I'm fine. I'm calming myself. I'm centering myself. I'm wondering whether or not. Oh, she's in the dining room.
Come back. Yes, she's in the dining room. I'll add her in. Yay! Was it the excitement of my decor?
It just, my phone just couldn't handle it. It couldn't handle the pinkage. I'm not. Everyone's frozen though, so I don't know. Can you see me moving? Is it happening?
That's better than it was before. Yes.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, well that's cool. Hopefully, I don't know what happened there. Just a glitch in the system.
Don't worry.
I don't know. Deja vu, glitch in the matrix.
Don't worry. These things happen.
Is that me? Am I getting?
No, that's me.
These things happen. Was it you? Oh, that's all right.
It was me.
Sorry about that.
Right, I'm going to put my phone on silent because
I have to ask then.
We started chatting. Sorry. So let's Right. Let's actually ask Claire some questions.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. I have just absolutely nervously just been silly.
You've been brilliant. You are brilliant. So I just like all the chatting. I'm just thinking of all the people that have come through.
Oh, I've been awful, haven't I? Yeah, go for it. Ask some questions. All right, brilliant.
Did you? I mean, for me, in lockdown, I've either been manically creative or the well has been well and truly dry. Like, how have you found actually dealing with lockdown? Because I don't know whether it's a female trait, maybe it's a comedian's trait, but if I'm not creating, I feel guilty for wasting the time, which makes me
Oh, God.
not in a very good mood. And then it just doesn't help at all. And it's like this cycle that you go around. How have you found it?
Yeah, I completely relate to that exact same feeling. But I think I kind of live like that anyway, to be totally honest with you, because I am completely self-employed. So if if I'm not being creative, there is this massive, awful sense of I'm wasting time, which, I kind of am. But I've also got 2 kids and, a house that needs kind of doing up. So I have not completely managed to balance it all, really. I mean, I'd love to sit here and say, yes, this is the ingredient. I'm incredibly disciplined. I do these things in the morning and then that and that and that. Not at all. It has been an absolute mishmash. I think the last couple of weeks, actually, so really quite recently, I have absolutely had to force myself to kind of get back into some exercise. And some meditation. So just doing some things that are a little bit healthy to help assuage the depression and the guilt that kind of crept up, actually. Like I say, I was kind of enjoying it at first. And then at some point, I just realised I was feeling really glum, just so down in the dumps. And that definitely kind of got to a point of, yeah, you kind of need to get out of your pit now, love, and maybe do some things. So yeah, I've kind of had to force myself. It got to a point of like, just sort yourself out, love. So I've started going back to dance classes, which has just been absolutely amazing. And I can't believe I'd forgotten the difference that exercise makes, but it really can be the difference between feeling completely shit and feeling actually okay about life. So I would say definitely forcing some exercise in, shoehorning some exercise in has made a colossal difference. And I think, like you say, when you're feeling crap, when you're feeling guilty, when you're feeling negative, bad feelings, the last thing you feel like doing is being creative. So I don't know about you, but I do really need to be, sound like a bloody diva. I need my white room and my lilies and my basket of kittens. Everything needs to be just so that it can flow. Otherwise the muse does not flow. And I think I do need to have a certain frame of mind to be able to get creative, and trying to force creativity when you're when everything else is falling down, it just doesn't work. So I've absolutely had to put some healthier actions in place, and I have managed to do a little bit of new work, which is amazing. I've written some new poems. I've started working musically again, which is amazing. I haven't done any music. I'm a singer and I haven't done anything for, crikey, nearly 2.5, nearly 3 years. It's been a really, really long time. And I'm just going to show off now to our one viewer. Hi, viewer. I'm showing off. I collaborating. Do you remember Dodgy? Do you remember the band Dodgy? If it's good enough for you, it's good enough for me. I'm friends with the lead singer of Dodgy, Nigel Clark, and we're about to work on releasing some tracks together. So that's really exciting news. And that's only just happened, actually, like literally the last kind of week or so. And I think that's come about because, as I say, I'm feeling, I've got a little bit more serotonin, a few more endorphins flowing around the blood system than alcohol. Serotonin to alcohol levels, have become more healthy. So yeah, that's a really long-winded answer. I could have just gone, yeah, I've been fine. Just getting up, doing some things. How about you?
It's fine. I love a long-winded answer. And
Sure, you're
also
going to
I
get
think,
both.
it's so refreshing to hear people say, yeah, I've just felt fed up and I'm getting out of it,
Oh,
and
yeah,
choosing to get out of it.
totally.
But I
Yeah,
was beating myself up, like, oh my God, when the lockdown first started, I was like, shit, no, I live alone. And the reason why I'm so busy all the time is to stop myself from thinking. And I'm like, no, I don't want to
yeah.
be thinking about things. Things will come up.
Oh,
Uh,
I think it's absolutely the plight of, honestly, I don't know many comedians who don't, suffer with bouts of depression. I think it really goes hand in hand. And I've definitely got this theory that, comedians tend to think really deeply about lots and lots of things. I think our brains tend to work in a certain kind of way. We make connections in a certain kind of way, and often we use comedy as a processing mechanism and as a coping mechanism. It's very much the alchemy. It's the gold that comes out of the alchemic process of dealing with life's crap, isn't it? And in order to kind of have that process, maybe you need to feel life's crap as well. And I honestly, I don't know any comedian that doesn't suffer from bouts of depression. And I think the older I've got, the more I've come to realize it isn't necessarily something you get over. It's something that you just have to learn to live with. And the really difficult thing, I suppose, about depression is that, the things that you need to do to get yourself back better tend to be the things that feel incredibly hard to achieve. Like you say, you've spiraled down into this place where, even getting up and doing your washing feels like a mammoth task. And I think once things have got to that point, we do need to get better at asking for help. And that's definitely been something this has suddenly gone from comedy, isn't it, into a serious
When you're lying,
serious
when I'm in my
message.
bed feeling depressed and I'm just like, I don't want to get up, I don't want to brush my, I mean, I never want to brush my fucking hair, but for argument's sake, pretend I do. So, like, like say when I'm lying there feeling depressed, I'm like, why can't I have the depression that John Robbins has that gets him a bloody Perrier?
Yeah, Nick, why haven't I got Robin Williams style depression that has me kind of manically bouncing off the walls and just being absolutely hilarious? Yeah, it's true that the worst kind of depression is that one where you feel like you can't be asked. You just feel like you can't be bothered. So it's really
depression. Why can't I have the good depression?
It's like laziness. It feels like laziness, doesn't it? Yeah. It does. It manifests as laziness often, and that's hard because then you beat yourself up about it. You just feel like you're lazy and useless. So and obviously the worse you are, the harder you are on yourself, the more you're going to feel shit. So it's definitely about learning to be kinder to yourself during those patches. And honestly, reaching out for a bit of help that in itself has been a real eye-opener this lockdown. I'm really proud, and I've definitely kind of recognized I've got a bit of a problem with that. The whole I'm fine, everything's fine. You're absolutely not fine. And actually reaching out to a few trusted friends, honestly, to literally say, can you help me come and clean my kitchen because things have got on top of me and I literally can't face it, and it's got to a level where I'm just drowning in grime and help. And it's embarrassing. You have to get past the shame of people coming in and seeing you like that. And I've done it. I've reached out for some real help through this lockdown at points, and honestly, that in itself has massively assuaged my own mental health problems because I just feel supported. And I think often, you feel depressed because you feel psychologically isolated, you feel psychologically alone. And I think that we, as much as we, the stigma is lifting on mental health issues, and we are talking about it more, there's still stigma there. There. And I tell you, as a mum and a housewife, my God, the stigma of having a messy house, it's huge. People become so ashamed of it, and feel that they kind of absolutely have to clean everything up before they can have people over. And actually, if it's really got on top of you and you're really struggling to get everything tidy, you're never going to get anyone over. And of course, the thing that's going to help you feel better is to have company. So it becomes a real cycle. So yeah, reaching out to friends and saying, help me clean has been amazing. And bless my friends who've come and helped me literally clean my windows that ended up looking like an elephant had come all over them, honestly. Just, you know, jobs like that I just never get round to.
Yeah. It makes you feel good. If somebody asks you to do something, and if a friend asks you to do something, you're like, yeah, of course, you're my friend, and it makes you feel valued, no matter what it is. If they're a real friend, you're there, isn't it? But it's easy said than done if you're the one asking for the help. But it's to remember that
there's definitely an art to it. There's an art to it. Exactly. When you reverse those roles and think, well, how are you going to feel if someone asks you for help? Exactly. You're going to feel like, oh, bless, you know, they've come to me, and it almost feels a bit special, actually. So yeah, it's so worth remembering that. It really is. But begging people for sex isn't quite the same. No. Please.
No,
I'm just really lovely, and I just
like that woman on Fight Club.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. I've got magazines. Please, I'm dying to get laid. Yeah. I definitely had like the horny patch. Actually, I definitely went through like kind of being on heat in the sort of, you know, the bit of springtime that we went through. My sap did rise. At one point, I kind of had that like real sort of, you know, when cats are in heat and they sort of stick their tail up and just go like that. I definitely had a bit of a moment of that. And did sort of reach out and did some sort of flirty messaging with people. And yeah, Christ, note to self, don't ever fucking do that again. Seriously, it's during a time where, you know, a lot of people are probably feeling quite lonely and frustrated and sexually frustrated. Don't put your milkshake out there unless you're seriously willing to have a fucking yard full of boys.
Can you give us terrifying on how you got rid of the queue? How did you get rid of the queue of men?
I am not even joking. I have had to just go block. Stop. I'm not even joking. It did at one point. I just thought, oh, this has got really ridiculous. Yeah. So yeah, absolute sort of warning there. Really, be really careful of kind of putting the Roxanne. You shouldn't stick the red light on. Seriously.
So what you're saying is you took your milkshake out of your yard.
I spread my milkshake wide and far. And it didn't always, it just got intense. It just got really intense. What felt kind of safe behind a screen suddenly didn't feel very safe when people were like, I'm going to come and see you. I'm coming to see you. I'm coming to see you. As soon as lockdown's over, I'm coming. It's just like, no, actually, please don't. I made a terrible mistake. Yeah. I made a terrible mistake. Please.
Yes, I take it all back.
I am, in fact.
We're just having a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Can I ask you some questions from the viewers? Because I did ask earlier, and we've had some lovely questions. So I'm just going back up the thing to make sure we haven't. And I will just warn you, we've had a couple of people asking for a poem, but I know I haven't asked before the show, so I don't want to put you on the spot, but I've had a couple of people ask for a poem.
That's
we're very much about the consent, and we hadn't asked you.
Yeah. Don't worry, that's fine. I'm like suddenly sweating, looking I've got anything that I can grab and write something. I try and think. I've written, I mean, I put a new poem up on Facebook the other day, so that doesn't feel like a new sort of surprise at all. And I have been working on something very, very, very brand new. But I could, let me think. Let me think on that. I might give one at the end. If I can go and find my poetry book, I might write one out. I nearly said knock one out. Knock one out.
Knock one out of the park. It's fine. Yeah. So Angie Belcher.
Angie! Hi, babe.
Angie. has asked, have you ever been backstage with a wanker whose politics we've all been backstage with a wanker, not always Louis C.K. Boom. Have you ever been backstage with a wanker whose politics are diametrically opposed to yours, and if so, how did you deal with it? We've been backstage with someone who's...
The answer to that is yes, I have been. And I've been backstage with somebody actually who was on a tour specifically for a very well-known politician who nearly got into power but didn't, Jeremy Corbyn, someone who'd been asked to go on the JC for PM tour, who blatantly didn't like Jeremy Corbyn, but who kind of, agreed to go on the tour because it was obviously quite a high profile tour and there was some really big names. So they just completely shoehorned themselves into something. But were being really vocal about the fact that they actually really didn't like him. And this is actually quite a well-known comedian. I mean, I'm not going to, I really won't mention the names, but I won't. And it's interesting because this is the absolute truth. I think had they been lesser known, this is an awful thing for me to admit, but it's honestly true. I think had they been lesser known, I probably would have seriously taken them to task. I actually felt quite intimidated simply by the fact that they were quite high profile themselves. So I just sort of sat there probably with my mouth open, like, okay, wow, you're literally here on this tour and you don't actually like him. So kind of just politely listened, and tried to kind of, see it from their perspective. So I wasn't like a completely gutless flip-flopper. I tried to see it from their perspective and just gently put my own opinion forward that was, completely diametrically opposed. Do you know what?
No,
it actually was. Yeah, it was. It was a fella. Yeah.
It was a man.
Yeah. Would you Adam and Edith? I'm trying to think if I've ever met any absolute kind of full-on right wingers where I've been at gigs, or who've, people who've been really, really vocal about things that are just like, wow, that's really not okay. Yes, actually I have. Although I wouldn't say that it was political. The one time I can remember being backstage with somebody who was an arsehole, he literally was sitting there with his sort of other mates. I was quite new on the circuit at the time, and he just started quite loudly discussing the fact that he just didn't think women were particularly funny and that he'd never really seen a funny female comedian. It's just extraordinary, isn't it? You just can't believe that would happen. I was really surprised by the comedy circuit when I first got involved. I really, really was. I genuinely thought, hey, great, we're all funny. It's going to be the friendliest bunch of people ever. Hey, fellow jokers, let's all be friends. And I haven't found it to be like that at all. It's taken me a long time to find people in the comedy circuit that I really like and really trust. I've found it to be incredibly competitive at times and really catty, and one of the only times where I have absolutely felt my gender has been...
Oh, you've pressed mute, Claire. You've pressed mute.
Oh, I'll try and mute in. There we are.
No, Claire, you have to press unmute. There we go.
Oh no, it's unmuted again. There we go. There you go. Right, hang on. There. Right. We can hear you now.
No, I think it's Claire's end.
Okay.
If you can press unmute on your end. Oh, it keeps muting again every time she like she's not here. Every time that
so annoying.
I can't unmute your guest because they chose to mute themselves.
Bugger.
I don't know what to say. message her. I don't know. It might be her internet. I don't know, but it was so strong since she came back.
Yeah, it was really good. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, it could be. Claire's frozen now as well, so it might be worth going out and coming back in again, maybe. Oh, such a good conversation too. Yeah, she's come through. It's my fucking internet, she says.
Oh, we can see a smile.
Ah!
Well, can I just say, viewers and listeners, guess what? It wasn't Lucy Orchard's internet that fucked up this week.
No.
Can we just do a victory lap around the living room? Woo woo!
Yeah.
I mean, this is our show, so I shouldn't be happy that Claire's having internet troubles, but there's a little bit of Schadenfreude inside of me.
Yeah.
It's like, wasn't me.
Hang on, she's coming back. She's coming back.
Coming back.
Fingers crossed. Oh, nearly. Oh, my word. I'm going to have a quick read of the new comment.
Who's got a question for when we get Claire back?
Oh, right, hang on. Right, here we are. Yay!
Hello! Am I back once again? Like
we can hear you. Whoop, whoop.
What's the fucking internet? Honestly, I just went out and I just gave the hamster another injection of adrenaline to keep him running, to keep him going. Seriously, can't get stuff. So. Oh, yeah. Being in the wild.
It's a little bit underwatery, Claire. I don't know whether or not if there's anything you can do from that position, or whether it's hope.
Right, hang on. Any better?
Oh,
yes,
better.
Is it? Oh
yes.
Shit! You mean I can't talk to you through a bottle of water? Fuck the point. Right, what were we talking about? I can't even remember. We were talking about sexism on the comedy circuit, weren't we? And meeting horrible people. Oh, Angie Belcher asking a juicy bit of gossip question. Yeah, it's challenging. It's taken me a long time to kind of realise that you just absolutely have to do it for the audience. You have to do what you're doing for the crowd. You are not there necessarily to please your peers or to compete with your peers. But my God, isn't there some competitive energy in the comedy world? It's freaking shocking. And I think sometimes the anti-woman thing, I have got this theory. I think often a lot of guys get into comedy because it's going to sound so awful, and not all comedians, of course, but I think that there is a percentage of male comedians who become funny or become comedians because they've kind of discovered that being funny tends, you can kind of get women. It's a way of pulling women if you're really funny. It is. And so if you're there on that side, in that territory, you're kind of in the wrong place. So some biological things just is like, wrong. You meant to be over there for me to pull, not here. This man place. I think it triggers a slightly caveman response. Not all men. Obviously, I have to follow that up. Not all men, and not all people who identify as men or as cavemen.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. And I tell you what, I don't know if you've done any all-female lineups, but the energy is so different to the all-male lineups. So different. We're so supportive.
It is.
We're all there going,
it's really different.
And it's lovely. I love
bigging each other up. There's a much more of a sense of camaraderie, I've found. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I've done some funny women shows which I really, really enjoyed. I mean, I kind of got put off the comedy circuit a little bit because of it, because of that that kind of constant feeling of competitiveness going on. But I'm kind of hungry again to get back into it. I think in a way it's taken lockdown, it's taken to have everything removed, everything kind of taken away, to suddenly go, oh, I actually quite appreciated that. So yeah, I'm definitely going to do Edinburgh next year if it's on. I am so up for doing Edinburgh.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I remember when we chatted before about your Edinburgh. I don't know if you want to
remember.
Talk about that. Yeah, and it just sounded horrible. But I love your show. It's brilliant.
Oh,
so
bless your heart. Thank you, my darling. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. I kind of got bored of it in the end. I actually genuinely got bored of my own show. It's like, oh, crying out loud. I've heard this so many times. So I kind of just had to shelve it because I wasn't enjoying it anymore. But thank you very much. But yeah, my first Edinburgh experience, I mean, oh, dear God, just so naive. My first ever Edinburgh experiences, I had an incredibly lucky break with Phil Jupiter's, basically. And when I know it's really lucky, I met him at a literature festival that happens quite close to where I live. And we got on really well, and I just totally flirted my way into his good books. I absolutely, totally admit that I just used flirtation to open some doors, which is a terrible thing to admit, but it's the absolute truth. And it worked. It worked. He offered me a gig, supporting him in his Edinburgh show, and at that point I had only just started performing, really. Wow. I mean, I'd written poetry and stuff for a long time. I think my biggest gig at that point was like an open mic pub night in Carmarthen. I'm not joking. So from going to that to suddenly being offered this huge show in Edinburgh was, I mean, totally exciting, massive learning curve. And they really were big shows. He was doing the free Fringe, so it wasn't even ticketed. So hundreds and hundreds of people in this venue, the Jam House, probably up to 600 or 700 people per gig. And at that point, I'd performed to about 10 people and felt like that was bloody loads. So talk about kind of in at the deep end. But it gave me this completely false sense of like, Edinburgh's easy. My God, I don't know why anyone makes a fuss. Jesus, you just turn up and there's like hundreds of people waiting for you. I was like, after the very first gig, like instantly wearing sunglasses and like, don't speak to me. You can speak to my agent. I'm clearly a famous person now. Out of my way. Absolutely went to my head, like totally immediately. It really did. It was awful. And but I completely got my comeuppance, because when I took my first show up there, honestly, I don't know what I was thinking, but I had no genuine experience of what it was like to be basically a nobody and promote a show to thousands and thousands of people amidst thousands of other kind of unknown people. I hadn't actually had that experience, so I sort of thought, oh, you just advertise it on Facebook and you'll be turning them away. I'm very sorry, but you didn't get here soon enough. It's already full. And of course, not like that at all. You have to be absolutely selling yourself. And I discovered I was actually really shit at it. It's without a doubt, that's a type of performance in itself, and it's a type of skill in and of itself, who actually Angie is fantastic at, and I've really learned a lot from Angie Belcher. She's brilliant. She's just fearless, and she enjoys going up to people and selling herself. I am not at all. I found it really embarrassing, and I felt like I just didn't really have anything spectacular to sell. Do you know what I mean? And that year, honestly, the thing that stands out for me, there was this show called Follow the Fawn, and it featured this phenomenally beautiful camp gay performer dressed up as a fawn, glitter all over his nipples and beautiful prosthetic makeup, with all these women in like thonged bikinis following him, promoting this show, which was obviously like this like amazing burlesque cabaret show. And I just felt like in my mind that was the level, that was the benchmark of amazing that was happening at Edinburgh that year. And next to that, I just felt it just felt like I was offering people a turd sandwich compared to that. It's like, why would you want to come and see me? It was like, do you want to come see some poetry? I'm afraid there's no glittery nipples, so why would you even bother? It was just a shit experience. So I was crap at selling it, so I hardly got anybody in. So on a lot of days there were no shows, and of course the build up to Edinburgh, everyone's so excited that you're going, you know. Kids made a massive fuss. I did like a big fundraiser before I went and raised a load of money. So I went up there feeling so kind of full of promise, and this is it, I'm gonna be discovered and it's just gonna be amazing. Of course, you know, 5 days in, yeah, exactly, 5 days in, you're just having a nervous breakdown, sort of sliding against the window of a kebab shop. You're like, my dad was right, I have not come to anything in my life. Terrible, really depressing. But it really knocked me. It really did. It totally knocked my confidence. I really had to work hard to kind of get back on, you know, on the unicycle of comedy after that, because it was fucking humiliating. It was just so humiliating. Yeah, and people messaging me while I was there, how's it going? How's it going? Be like, I'm in a room and nobody has turned up at all. So that's how it's going. That's how it's going. Day after day.
I think it's humbling.
It's painful.
It is painful.
Humbling is the word. Humbling is the word.
I had a very similar experience, and it wasn't until I was like, yeah, it'll be fine. And thank God I was only there for a week, because I was like, yeah, like you. I was like, I had a 15-seater room, 15, right? And I'm like, I can get 15 people in, no problem. Oh my God. It was having to stand on the street, and I had a poster with my face on, as everyone says, but I've got my face on this poster. Me with my sexy biker, as Lucy calls it. The one I'm like, you know, and showing the boobs off. 10 years old, and then people are like, is that you? You know, I'm like, they're like, don't think that's you, is it, love? And it was just humiliating. And I had one show where I was like, I can't face doing it. And because it's PBH, you have to put on a show even if no one turns up. I literally stayed in the pub.
Yeah, you have to.
Fuck it. I hope no one turns up. I can't face it. And then
I can't face it.
My friend and the guy I fancied and I was flirting with both bloody turned up. I was ashamed. And my friend was like,
just to kind of act, that's what it's like. It's so humiliating, isn't it?
Yeah,
I know. And you have to try and style it out. You have to try and style it out in front of people you fancy. The same thing happened to me. A couple of people who I quite fancied turned up, and there's like absolutely no one there. Oh God! And the other thing that fucking happened, I got like the dreaded fringe flu. I just got ill almost as soon as I got there. I remember like getting off the train and like my glands came up as my feet sort of hit the platform. It was just like, oh, I feel fucking shit. And of course, you know, doing a spoken word thing, the last thing you need to go is your fucking voice, isn't it? But by about day 6, I was really struggling to talk. I mean, I sounded like Barry White. I mean, I sound a bit like Barry White anyway, probably really sort of manly. I was down here somewhere. Honestly, my voice was just going and going and going, and at one point halfway through a show it just completely gave out. And it was, you know, when your voice totally goes and you're like that, it's like, oh fuck. And that happened and I couldn't carry on, and they were all just I got actually the most money that day, which is really awful, because they were obviously just giving me money, you know, sympathy money. It's like, oh, so sorry. Never mind, love. Go and treat yourself. Go and treat yourself to some lozenges. Thanks. Just had to carry on in interpretive dance. It was awful. It was just so awful. I needed therapy. They should offer therapy post Edinburgh.
Yeah, there should be post Edinburgh therapy for sure.
Post Edinburgh therapy group. Yeah, you are still worthy. You are still somebody.
Yeah, I think it's just listen. Maria Bamford has got this thing on Audible. It's got a parody of a self-help book, but it is accidentally also a self-help thing. I think everyone should listen to that. She's brilliant.
Brilliant.
so good. But
brilliant. Yeah.
Did Hugh have a question, Lucy? I know we were going to ask that before we disappeared.
The wonderful Hugh said, Claire, do you still define yourself in 3 words as ambitious, kind, and bewildered? And I'm going to add, or were you just using 3 words because you were lost?
Wow. Okay. Definitely. Yeah, I would say, I mean, my ambition is coming back. Can you still hear me, or have I gone like a Dalek?
Yes.
Have I disappeared?
No, perfect.
I'm there. That's good. All right. Excellent. Excellent. I'd say my ambition is coming back. So yeah, I would say ambitious. What other word? Friendly.
Yep.
Definitely friendly. I really want to be friends with people when I meet them. That I really do. And confused. Yeah.
Because
ambitious, friendly, and confused.
I can't let this slide. So you've gone from ambitious, kind, and bewildered to ambitious, friendly, and confused.
I've obviously been influenced by his words. That was just like a thesaurus, wasn't it? I just gave the same 3 words back, but the same meaning, slightly different. It's just, yeah, the thesaurus mind kicked in there. I am confused a lot of the time. I am. The modern world confuses me. That's honestly true. I think the last couple of years, I mean, I'm over 40 now. I know. I don't look it, I don't fucking answer that. I've realised I'm a bit of a dinosaur in some ways, you know, and I would love to be much more on it in terms of using technology, of utilizing everything that's out there. I'd love to have a podcast. I'd love to do all of these things. And I actually do feel a bit bewildered and a bit confused by modern tech a lot of the time. And I have this thing that I really can't stand it in myself. It really frustrates me. If I can't suss something out really quickly, I'm like a child. I'm like a sort of 3-year-old that can't tie its laces yet. I just go, oh, fuck it then, I'm not fucking doing it. And we'll kind of throw it out of, throw my toys out of the pram. And it's one of my worst traits is that I really struggle to learn new things. It's like, I know that I'm good at the things I'm good at, if that makes sense. But actually there's loads of things I want to be able to do. And that's my goal actually for next year, or maybe even the rest of this year, or maybe even just the rest of my life, is to just really stop getting so angry when I can't do things and just take the time to be patient to learn new things. It's a ghastly trait. It's a ghastly trait, and one I've definitely got off my dad. My dad was like it. Really, he was really arrogant, my father, and he wanted to be brilliant at everything, and he hated the idea of being a beginner at anything. That really, he was so sort of arrogant. And I don't think I'm not arrogant in the same way. I can totally confess and admit that I'm shit. But that response, like there's books and books of things written about things I'm shit at. But there's, the response, the same response of frustration is still there. And I'd really like to deprogram my mind. Actually, I watched this amazing thing about reprogramming the human mind. I watched it the other day on YouTube. I found it absolutely fascinating. It was talking about how our subconscious conditioning, like our mapping that gets laid down from when we're really quite young, that's mostly what drives us. That's mostly what we're kind of working with. And that actually the way that we deprogram ourselves of our negative things is just to lie to yourself. Just lie to yourself. Just tell yourself that you are not the things that you are, that you literally kind of fake it. It's a fake it to make it kind of idea, but that your subconscious does not know the difference. So if you are constantly telling yourself, I'm really happy, I'm a really happy, really patient, amazing person who picks things up really, really quickly, and you keep telling yourself that over and over again, actually it will start to embed itself into your subconscious and you'll start behaving in that way. And I'm really giving that a go at the moment, this kind of reprogramming of myself. So that's probably been the most useful and positive thing I've done thus far, I think, actually, apart from asking for help, is the personalized deprogramming program I have myself on. Wake up in the morning, I am happy, I'm really happy.
There's a TED talk with Amanda Palmer about the power of asking.
The art of asking.
The ask of asking, which is fantastic. So many of our viewers are having trouble. I know that we had Random Maestro also really picked up with your comments about getting bogged down by not tidying up and asking your friends. So Random Maestro, if you ever get a chance, go on YouTube, on Tinternet, and look up The Art of Asking by Amanda Palmer. I don't know why I went northern on that one.
Amanda Palmer, The Art of Asking.
You know Mandy Palmer, she's always asking something, she is.
She's known as a big asker, isn't she? Bless her heart. Am I allowed to do a famous name drop? She came to stay with me. But it's honestly true, and it's really interesting, right? There's a real connection here. I saw that video before I knew about her music or anything else that she did, because I was doing mentoring at the time about business startup, and actually was starting to talk about crowdfunding in the early days. And of course, her whole video is about the fact that she crowdfunded her first, well, it's not her first album, but one of her albums. She got dropped, didn't she? Her and the Dresden Dolls, they were dropped by their record label, and she decided to crowdfund her next album and it was an absolutely enormous amount of money, wasn't it? It was like $500,000 or something just from crowdfunding it. So obviously became this real expert on crowdfunding and asking for help. And so I got introduced to that video because I was starting to do stuff about crowdfunding, and found it is absolutely amazing. It's a really moving video, and she's a really intriguing and interesting character. So I kind of got into her music a little bit. And then when I was in Edinburgh having my really awful time, my eldest daughter sent me a video by her, one of her songs, which has become one of my favorite songs. And it's a song about becoming the person that you were always meant to become. It's such a moving song. It's so moving. It's all about her. One day I'll lose weight, and one day I'll do this, and one day I'll do that. But suddenly I realized I already am the person I was always meant to be. I found it incredibly moving. And I remember at the time in Edinburgh thinking, I would love to meet Amanda Palmer. She's just really incredible. And I always set this intention, put it out into the universe of like, I am going to somehow come to meet Amanda Palmer. I really want that to happen. I really want it to come to pass. And then actually just ended up becoming friends with Andrew O'Neill, the comedian who supports Amanda sometimes on tour. And 2 years ago, he contacted me to say that they were gigging in Carmarthen, and they were looking for a place to stay, and could they please come and stay? So obviously I went, oh, I'm really sorry, I'm going to be busy that night. No, obviously I was like, oh my God, yes, yes, you can. And they came to stay, and I got the fucking day wrong, right? I thought they were coming on a certain day, and then Andrew messaged me to say, is everything still all right for tomorrow? At which point, obviously, with my messy house, I was like, holy titty fucking shit, no it isn't, and went home, and I actually cleaned manically for about 72, well, it wasn't 72 hours because there aren't 72 hours between a day, is there? 24 hours straight. I literally stayed up all night and cleaned my house from top to bottom, and sort of had a slight nervous breakdown, actually, so that when they visited, I'd sort of gone mad. I actually gone a bit mad. But Amanda Palmer came to the house, and and I met her, and she was really nice. She was really down to earth, and I was kind of expecting her to be this crazy party person, But she wasn't. She wanted an early night, but I did have to take her around the house just because I thought, if you don't go round and have a look, what the fuck was the point of me cleaning my skirting boards at 4 o'clock in the morning? Please, Amanda, look and observe the lack of spider webbing through my lounge. But yeah, amazing experience. And she took loads of photographs of my sculptures and sent them to Neil Gaiman, her husband, who was a massive influence on me as a teenager. And he messaged back to say that they were absolutely amazing. So yeah, that was a really lovely experience. Yeah. Show off, that's me showing off.
So great. Famous friends. As beautifully as Dawn French telling the story of the Queen Mother coming to her house. That was really lovely.
Yeah, that was in her book, wasn't it?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome though, having Amanda Palmer around. I'll have to check out her music. I don't think I've heard her music before.
It's really, it's great. It's great.
Start with Map of Tasmania.
Right, I'm making a note.
Yeah,
Tasmania. Because I'd like that that YouTube that you were how to deprogram yourself. So I'm after the link for that. I love all this stuff. I love it. One thing that really
is so helpful, isn't it?
I think YouTube's amazing. I'm constantly, if it wasn't for YouTube and Instagram, I mean, I'm currently doing whole food plant-based diet, and I really feel like this is the way I'm going to eat for the rest of my life. I feel so good at it, and I'm losing weight and all the rest of it. But also, one thing, a really weird thing that
What are you doing? Repeat. What?
Do you really want to know? Yes. Buy the starch solution. Well, don't buy it actually. Literally, every single meal, half your plate is the low calorie density. Sorry, I'm plugging my laptop in. Low calorie density veg. So all your veg, that's 100 calories per pound. And I could tell you, I'll message you. I'll give you a shitload of information if you want.
Yeah, do it. Half your plate. You look fantastic. You look great.
Oh, thanks, Boo.
She's glowing, isn't she?
That's good.
Glowing, isn't she?
She's glowing, isn't she?
Wow.
That's the gin and the makeup. No, honestly, I've easily lost as well 21 pounds. Easily. Normally, I struggle to lose a stone, and it all goes back on again the minute I look at some chocolate. And also, and it's coming off. It's staying off. I'm not hungry. I'm stuffing myself. If ever I'm hungry, I'm like, right, I'll eat a shed load of. It's the low calorie density veg. That's half your plate. Wow. My plate is massive. And the other half then is a starchy veg, like potatoes or I tend to eat potatoes, but you can butternut squash or
starchy potatoes.
Pasta, but as low processed as possible, and no meat, no dairy. It's basically vegan, but but it is
full. But you're full. That's the main thing, isn't it? It's feeling full. Yeah, the problem with I can't handle being hungry at all. I get really angry. I get hangry.
Me too.
Hanger. Do you get hangry? Yeah, I do. I really get really snappy.
I was in a work meeting once, and I lived in Newbury, and on a Friday we had to go to Watford, which was a good 3.5 hours away, right? So I would pick up a McDonald's breakfast and eat it at the meet. I'd be stuffing it in at the meeting because, I'm like, at 8:30. And my manager took me to one side and said, you can't eat in the meeting. And I was like, where I'm coming from. You can't stop me from eating. Not thinking, well, actually, maybe I should eat it on the way.
Fucking quit.
You'll have my resignation in the morning.
I've got an answer to that. I fucking quit. Wow. All same. Yeah. I have to eat straight away in the morning. Some people can't eat first thing, can they? I don't
understand those people.
I don't understand you. You're from another planet. I'm like, eat now, food now. After I've told myself I'm happy. After I've told myself I'm happy. Morning, I'm happy. I am a happy, tidy, amazing, friendly person. And now I must consume.
If I've got paid breakfast with the hotel room, nothing is stopping me from having that breakfast. I can eat I can eat a breakfast if it comes with the room.
Been paid
But
for. Oh,
usually,
brilliant.
first thing in the morning, coffee and silence is
Yeah.
all I
Coffee
need.
and silence. Oh, I dream of that. Coffee and silence. I love it. It's a good name for an album, isn't it? I'm releasing a new album. Yeah, it's called Coffee and Silence. Yeah, I like that. Coffee and
But every
silence.
morning when I wake up and I brush my teeth, I splash my face with water 3 times, and
Wow.
every day I say, I am brave, I am strong, and I can do this. And that is
Oh,
my
that's
starter.
nice.
That's
Yeah.
my starter mantra every single day.
Brilliant.
It is a case of fake it till you make it. I can't agree with you more strongly. You know, tell your face. If you
Tell your
if
face.
you tell your
Tell that
face.
face. That's a good. Yeah, tell your face it's fine.
Tell your face.
And it's
do.
got this, and it can do whatever it wants within legal reason.
Oh, we're being trolled, guys. We're being trolled.
I wasn't going to
No.
mention the troll because it's a shit troll. He's not even trying. That's pathetic. It's pathetic
in
we
trolling.
haven't.
He's half right. It says Lucy is a lesbian, but the thing is, it's not that I'm a lesbian. I just have not had very good experiences with men, and the lesbians won't let me join the club on that basis.
It's not much of an insult, is it? Lucy's a lesbian, and it's like, oh, ow.
He's not even trying. It's pathetic. I think
That's so pathetic.
English might not be their first language because the trolling is very short and a bit pathetic.
Oh, come on, more.
I don't bother engaging really rubbish trolls. It's a terrible.
No.
You need to try better, Luke.
Yeah, just message back. See me, must try harder. 1 star.
Yeah,
and it says
like half a star.
Brilliant.
I
Half a star.
Oh, come on! I've got to do some of this.
That's just
on,
like
go
your
on,
opinion, troll. That's just like your opinion.
It says I'm not brave, I'm not strong, and I can't do whatever I want because I have autism. Mate, have you seen me do mental arithmetic? I am shit.
Oh, are we laughing at his?
No way.
Did we just laugh at his, or was he trying to say you had? Did we just do an un-PC thing? Ha ha!
No.
You've got autism. Ha ha!
No.
Oh, I see the headlines now.
This is why I'm not engaging, because I only engage with good trolls that bother to
we haven't
try.
had any decent trolls. We do.
I'm
we do.
autistic. I'm an autistic lesbian. Is that all you've got? Jesus.
He's wet. He's called me. It's called me.
I mean, this day and age, that's a fucking badge of honour, you fool.
Yeah.
Hang on. He just called me Hannah Gadsby. Winner!
Yay! Congratulations.
Oh, she's fucking great. Oh, she's fantastic, isn't she? Yeah, she is. Well, that's an absolute compliment. Thank you very much. The troll has turned. Bless him. His troll is so bad it's become complimentary. Fantastic.
Can I?
Yeah, I'm
put
jealous
that on
now.
my bio?
Yeah.
Can you what?
Yeah.
Bio?
Yeah.
Can I put that on my
Yeah.
bio? I mean, that is a quote.
Of course you can.
It's
Hannah Gadsby
Lucy.
for the
You do what you
autistic
need to
generation. Hannah Gadsby for the autistic generation.
Yes. Devon's answer
Brilliant.
to Hannah Gadsby.
That's fantastic.
Hannah Gadsby.
Brilliant.
I mean,
Wonderful.
last week I was compared to Norman Collier, which is a stand-up comedian from the late 70s. So I mean, I'm coming. I'm doing leaps and bounds here.
You're coming round. Come on, mate. Your star doth rise. Your star doth rise. How many viewers have we still got? Are there still people actually watching this? Brilliant.
I've got to be honest, Claire, we've got our highest viewing figures, so that's why we don't give a fuck about the trolls.
Have we got our highest viewing figure? Oh, brilliant. Oh, shall I give him a tit? No, don't worry, I'm not going to do that. honestly,
we don't need to. We got lots of viewers. We don't need to.
Baby suckled Dougs, honestly, they'd be like paying me to put them back on. They would. I think if I had started like an OnlyFans page, it would be. Yeah, it's quite a depressing thing to realise that you've probably become a kink. Do you know what I mean? I'm no longer sort of. longer in like a conventional bracket. I've become a fucking kink. Oh God, it's depressing. You just got to own it, haven't you? You just got to own
isn't
it. It's sort of liberating as well. It's liberating. It's liberating. It is liberating. It's very liberating not to care. To genuinely not give a shit how people perceive you in that way. I mean, I think, God, I spent so much of my youth just desperate to be fancied, desperate to be, approved of by men and probably other women, but mostly men. And it's just, yeah. Well, my mother was like, she was like Elizabeth Bennet's mother from Pride and Prejudice. Just absolutely, you must get married. What is the point of you if you do not have a man? What's this? Single? What's the point of you then? So yeah, I was very much brought up with this notion that kind of finding a suitor was a huge part of one's life mission. And that somehow you were a bit of a failure at life if you didn't have a boyfriend. So I've kind of rolled from relationship to relationship basically since I was about 15. This is the first time in 41 years that I've had a period of singledom that's lasted as long as it has, and it's amazing. It turns out that actually, you're just absolutely all right without a relationship. Things still happen. You still function. Yeah. Life just goes on. It's been an absolute wonderful revelation. And I've definitely got to know myself in a completely different way. Because you do become a product of relationships, don't you? You become a product of the relationships that you're in. Whether or not you're compromising for that particular person or over compromising or whatever it is, but you kind of become an amorphous blob of each other. So it's been it's been great just getting to know myself.
I've spent most of my life, my adult life, I spent much more of my adult life single in a relationship. And I'm sure a counsellor or a psychotherapist have a lot to say about it, but I feel so much stronger single.
Yeah.
You don't have to compromise. You don't have to discuss what you're going to do. You just fucking get on with it. It's brilliant.
Absolutely.
Whatever.
Oh God, absolutely. You become exactly. You make your own choices, and I think you can become, without even realizing it. I think of myself as this sort of strong feminist, this very strong person. But I think when you're in a relationship, you are, to a certain degree, you are psychologically controlled. Even if you're in a very liberated relationship, there are certain elements of it that are going to be, even if it's just compromise, it's a degree of control. I've definitely been a little bit like a sort of bear that's been released from a lifetime of captivity. The cage doors open, but the bear doesn't quite realize that it can come out now and it's all right and it can make its own decisions. It's definitely taken me a little bit of time to learn to drive the single vehicle. Yeah, but I'm loving it. Great.
Yeah.
So I was single for 10 years and I described it as my feral years. Oh, so good. So much fun. But once you get to that plateau of self-respect and confidence and inner peace, you release a pheromone where men seek to destroy this happiness. And they will woo you. They will love bomb you. They will do everything they can to convince you, although you're happy by yourself, you will be happier with a man. And you agree to it, and then the chains appear and the cage appears. So once you are happy, and everyone, I see so many young girls like, oh, everything's so right in my life right now. All I need is a man. And I'm like, no. Do not ruin this lovely moment in your life.
I think it's big. It's very. It's really difficult, isn't it? Because these 1950s ideals are, they are often still there. I'm not saying always, but they are often still there, deeply ingrained, pre-1950s, really. But this idea that, that men are looking for a partner because ultimately there's a part of them seeking to be looked after, really. Dare I say it? do some looking after. But even that in itself can be really disempowering, can't it? To have somebody, caring for you in the particular way that they see fit. Even that in itself is quite, it can be quite disempowering. But I do miss a bit of cock, though, to be fair. But apart from that, I'm kind of really loving it. But yeah, hence my milkshake moment mid lockdown.
I mean, the minute my vibrator can put up a shelf, it's all over.
Oh, that's it. Googly eyes on the vibrator. That's all you need. Absolutely. Good morning. I am happy. Coffee, silence. Good morning, vibrator. How are you?
Oh, I gasped well. The Lord Noah, but nothing happened.
Oh, brilliant. Excellent.
This has been fantastic. We've
gone well so long.
Yeah, thank you so much. You've been so generous with your time. Thank you.
Oh, bless you. My absolute pleasure. I would say, yeah, I've really carved out an evening for you. I have literally no other life. Yeah, it's been. Please don't go. Yeah, no, it's been great.
You can stay for the review of Joan Rivers. I don't know if you watched it, but
oh shit, were we meant to talk about Joan Rivers? Were we?
No. Me and Lucy do that afterwards.
Oh, there we are. All right, my loves. Well, listen, I'm sorry if I've waffled on far too much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No, it's been brilliant. Thank you so
much. And hello, and thank you to everybody who tuned in. Bless your hearts, and thank you both. Lovely to meet you, Lucy, and you, Sarah, and hopefully we'll meet up in real life and go out and have a drink. Please,
before you go, I would like to promote you somehow. Now, I've noticed that you've got a website, but is that mainly your sculpture and art? Would you like to send people to your Twitter or your Facebook?
Website. Yeah, sure. How can people find out more about? I'm so lazy at social media things. I'm terrible at self-promotion. I suppose probably come to Facebook page of Poet and Comedian. That's probably where.
Well, in that case, just a bit of advice to all our viewers and fans of Clare. If you're looking for Clare, first of all, it's CLARE. No, there's no I's. There's no I in Clare.
There's no I in pie. What? No, there's no I in team. No.
If you just type Clare Ferguson-Walker into Google, you will find all of the social media.
I'm the only one. I'm all over it like a rash.
It's hyphenated. Ferguson-Walker is hyphenated. If you forget the hyphen, you're out.
No hyphen, no mama. Why did I say that? How weird. How it sees some part of me is seeking some fucking baby man to mother, isn't it? No hyphen, no mama. It's a really I feel dirty. I feel used by myself. Right, my loves. On that note, I shall depart. Good evening. Thank you so much. Lots of love. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye so much. Bye.
Oh, wow. Sarah Bridgman. What a bloody best.
Thank you. You're welcome.
You did it again, Bridgie. Did it again. That's amazing.
She's amazing, isn't she? I love Clare so much. I've fangirled on Clare. But you know when you're like, just follow someone on social, it's just like, oh, because I love her. I really love her sculpture. I'd love to get her back on again next week. No, we can't. We've got Tom Glover next week. But her sculptures, her art, if you can check her out, she is friggin' amazing. And those of you that are with us, I'm sure you already know that because you're with us. When those that aren't trolling us, they're absolutely fantastic. Yeah. And someone earlier said, talking about trolls, I'm just going to check out who. Someone earlier said, a random maestro said something like, damn, I love dealing with trolls. Like, he said, lol, how did I miss this? I like fun with trolls. We do, because we broadcast with Joke Pit Live very kindly broadcast us over many different platforms. So wherever you are, we might be trolled. It's usually Twitch, isn't it? It's usually the
That's what I
teenagers.
was about to say. Like it's hometown to trolls. Like
Yes.
we stream via Periscope on Twitter. We stream via YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. But if you
Yeah.
want to go clip clop trip trap to get a troll, you got to
Yeah.
get yourself to Twitch.
Twitch on. Oh god. But yeah, so she was amazeballs. She was
Well,
amazing.
if you're watching, Tom, no pressure, but there's the bar.
Can I just say he won't be? He will put the kids to bed because Tom messaged me earlier and said, "Oh, it might be a bit late. I'm putting the kids to bed." And then he went, "Wrong date. Oh, but next week." Never mind. So I didn't have to tell. He told himself. He's clearly looking forward to it because he was here a week early.
I mean, who likes hardiness? Well done, Tom. Well done. She was just a bloody sherbet fountain of loveliness.
Oh, I love her so much, and Claire's already messaged to say that was ace. Thank you so much. Kiss, kiss. I'm pleased. We've got to get Claire back on in the near future. She's so good. I didn't even get to ask about sculptures, and
we get really aware when it cuts to the hour mark of having a guest on, and we start sort of trying to sort of send each other like visual clues of like, we need to ask them for promote. We didn't ask her for a friend, but we need to start wrapping it up, thanking them and asking them what they want to plug. And instead, both Sarah and I didn't look at each other, and we were like, let's just see how long we can keep her on for.
Yeah. A fangirl.
You may not realise the time.
Yeah, I know, because you're pretty hot on time. You're normally at like 25 half 8.
I know. I literally halfway through they tell a lovely story, and I'm like, yeah. You gotta go.
Anyway, I want to be out of here at 8. I need my food. I haven't had tea yet. But Claire's amazing. I could have had her for another hour. She's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done. That's amazing. So, wow. So first of all, thank you, everybody, including the trolls. God bless you, because Sarah and I haven't been trolled in weeks.
I do miss the troll. I like it when we get a troll. But my bar for trollage is high. You've got to think it through. Don't bother with this flipping.
We've had some pretty good trolls. Yeah, we've had some very good trolls come by. So no offense. You're trying to slip out the big shoes.
Yes. So if you're going to if you're going to bring it, mind you, let's face it, if you're going to bring it, I'm always going to say, "Oh, what's wrong? Are you okay?"
You're all right, then. Right. So this is where I press the button.
I kind of feel I need a break because that was so good.
Oh, get over yourself. You've got a 2-minute break whilst I press this button.
Okay.
All right. So.
Yeah.
Right.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the best act in her price range, Miss Jo Rivers. Lovely to see you. Lovely to see you. I was on the Today Show. Al Roker. Here's Joan Rivers, and she's 78 years young. And you want to go, and here's Al Roker, and he's 320 pounds thin. And then, Angelina Jolie. If I could make just one person happy with my charity works, I'll die content. I thought, easy, give Jennifer Aniston back a husband. My mother was blind. I was sick of blind people. It's all about them. When was the last time a blind person gave you a compliment? Think about it. They're always talking about themselves. Is the train coming at me? Which one of you ever looked at a picture of a Mexican in a magazine and ripped it out and brought it to a plastic surgeon and said, "Make me look like this"? Children on an airplane. Lady. Where is Casey Anthony when you need her? Once a month, usually Kathy Griffin and I and Cher, we all meet at Cher's house. No makeup, no hair. We look like the 3 witches from Macbeth. I mean, you have no sight. Am I wrong? I lost my entire family family at Auschwitz, okay? They were in the other bus and it broke down. They never showed up. Anyway, too much? And I won't tell you my Whitney Houston joke.
There we are. That's Joan Rivers. We're back on.
Only that was the year of the Olympics. That was 2012.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I had that on my notes. Now, I suggested Joan, so as is customary on the kitchen sink, your turn to go first with the review. If you would like, if you're still with us.
Well, I mean, anybody who's watched my stand-up knows that I mentioned Joan within the first 6 seconds. I do love myself a bit of Joan Rivers. I mean, she's an enigma wrapped in a conundrum. She is strong. She is driven. I still use present tense with Joan because that woman can't just die and disappear. She is a presence that will be with us forever in her work and her words. I mean, for me, watching that, you know, yes, certain things were slightly un-PC, and I couldn't give a shit because she's 78 and she's like, I've lived long enough to say this. You know, she attacks her audience, right? I want fatties in the front, lesbians at the back, gays at the front, Chinese women, fuck off. Old people, fuck off. Anyone with kids, fuck off. You know, and on the way out, buy one of my scarves. She is just amazing. And I couldn't agree with her more when she says, don't show me pictures of your kids if they're ugly.
Okay.
I had to look it up. Casey Anthony, she mentions Casey Anthony in there about kids on planes. Like, kids are always like in the chair. She was known for a 2008 mysterious disappearance of a daughter.
Yeah.
Like the fact, like the woman had been in the war 8 days, she was dead, but she must have been Jewish because she came out and her hair was dry. Like that, she is an equal opportunities comedian because everyone gets it, and I like that. She's not. I've seen comedians that have picked a certain genre of creed, color, race, whatever to attack, and like it's their punch down bag. Whereas Joan, if you're not Joan, she's going to take the piss out of you. And the one person that she's going to take the piss out of the most is herself. You will not be able to attack Joan Rivers to the level that Joan Rivers attacks herself.
Okay.
Oh my God, Ray has put, I used to like her until I found out what a horrible person she was in real life. I don't want to look behind the curtain. I don't want to know. Do you know what? As if she was a bitch to me, it would be the best day of my life that Joan was a bitch to me.
Yeah.
Random Maestro says legend. I'm surprised that you brought this to the table because I don't know why I seem to put a lot of pressure on you for bringing new comedians to the table. I seem to be the old guard. But awesome. Awesome. She's 78 and she's still that compos mentis and that fierce. I mean, the opening credits where the guy is behind the curtain shouting, "Coming up, the most amazing woman in a price range," and she's there with a plate doing a line of coke, licking it. I mean, come on. The woman, Tiffany Haddish is nowhere near as strong on the stage as her. And Tiffany Haddish can set the world on fire. You go. I wonder what you think.
Okay, I've written some words.
You liked it.
I suggest now. I've listened to this special, but also one from about 20 years ago, and the one from about, I can't remember the name of it. The one about 20 years ago, she's talking mainly about marriage and you know her life and all the rest of it. Yeah. I don't remember the jokes being as offensive. And when I watched this, I was like, right, what year was it? Because, number one, she's outrageous. She is outrageous. and I love that she comes in, she goes like, it's just jokes, it's just jokes. You know, she is from a specific era. I gotta say, for now, I mean, now don't come for me, Lucy, okay, but I'm gonna make a controversial statement here. I can totally respect her craftsmanship, and I love some of her jokes, but and she's always she's the biggest butt of her jokes. But I did go with some of it is like, oh my god, I just don't know. I don't know. These like you know, she came for everyone. She's like literally everyone. I don't know. I was a bit uncomfortable with some of them, I have to say. But she like I say, she's equal opportunities. She offends everyone. I have to say, if she was, even now, we've changed so much as a society, and people just will not tolerate it.
We're woke now.
Almost now, because we've changed so much. Watching that from 2012, it's almost like watching a Roy Chubby Brown. It's almost, or a Bernard Manning. Almost. She's not as, and I don't. When I first watched it, there was no way the world was like that, because when I first watched it, I loved it, and I didn't even notice a lot of the offensiveness. I prefer her stuff she can be funny without it. She didn't need to be the offensiveness. Like, if you watch a documentary, towards the end, she really struggled to get people to come and watch her. She had pages and pages in her book that was empty. And I wonder if she went more down the super, super, super offensive route to make even more of a name for herself. And I don't think.
Can I say that when she got offensive, she was mentioning things that people don't mention anymore, but she wasn't being derogatory to those people, if that makes sense. So she was mentioning
an individual, but she is picking on a group, and it's every fucking group.
She'll pick on a group, but again, she's picking on them for traits that people have discussed in the past, but never that those were negative traits.
And I bet they're going, don't have a go at us. Come on, have a go at us.
Yes.
You know,
right. This is very difficult to have this conversation in this day and age without mentioning it, right? But she made an Asian joke where she took her eye skin and pulled it to the side, which is now a no joke, okay?
And frankly, with her cosmetic surgery, I thought would be
exactly. But the thing is, when she did that, she didn't do any stupid voice. She didn't say that was a negative trait of their physical appearance. The butt of the joke was Renée Zellweger. Do you know what I mean? So she is on the line of NPC. But when she made that joke,
for a lot of them,
right? If that was Jim Davidson making that joke, it would have been some sort of song, some sort of accent, and the joke would have been aimed at the Asians. But the point was, she made that joke about Asian people to make the joke about Renée. I mean, I can't speak on behalf of a very large continent, but I don't think they would have found that offensive, because they weren't the butt of the joke. They were the setup. In the same way that
I can't remember that specific joke. I suppose it matters. Is she saying that Renée Zellweger looks like an Asian person, and that's a bad thing? Like, it's like, oh, surely
no. She was saying that physical trait of the human genetics is that the makeup, the physical makeup of an Asian person is the eyes. Different races and different creeds have got different physical features and different skin colors, and that you can't not accept that. But the fact is, Renée Zellweger walked into a plastic surgeon's, made a very confused order, came out for the better, and came out actually for the worse. And completely
saying, was she hungry when she went to the plastic surgeon? That would, and she came out with the wrong order. I think that's hilarious. But I mean, I don't want to go and watch a comedian and worry about joke for joke for joke. But when I made the suggestion, like I say, I think it's a sign of how much the world has changed. Sadly, she's not with us anymore. So what I want to do is comment much more on her craftsmanship, the fact
Yeah.
she is joke. There's nothing lean. It's not just the jokes, it's her physicality. She was a great comedian, considering she said in her documentary she never wanted to be a comedian, she wanted to be an actor. She was a great comedian, a fantastic, amazing comedian. Yeah, and I love the look. I loved watching the audience, because there's times where you can really see the audience. There was one woman was like that all the way through, and at one time like that, but I bet she was bloody loving it. You can tell when people love being shocked, and there is a place for it in society. And I think if you're going to go and buy a ticket for an act like that, you should know what you're getting before you get it, and then that's fine. And I'm very much for free speech, as long as it's not hating on anyone in particular. It's yeah. And I love she talks a lot about the older people. She's old herself. Yeah, we're so short on positive older role models, and as a absolutely woman at the top of a game, what a friggin' great role model for that. But she's incredibly controversial figure, and will continue to be so, I'm sure. But
the fact is, I noticed, especially we've got someone very, very close to my family, that whenever they spoke to my grandmother, they didn't just say, "Hi, how are you doing?" We'd say, "Hi, Granny, how are you doing? What are you watching?" Da-da-da. She would come in and she would talk to her like this.
right.
Like, what are you doing? Why are you talking to an older person as if she has somehow changed, maybe into a foreign language student, where you need to really enunciate and articulate and punctuate your points? When I get so incensed with ageism, because older people have been around longer, which means they've done more bad things. They've done more good things, and they certainly have done more sexy things than you have done. So to think that they suddenly yes, how people think that teenagers on their 13th birthday go from being a child to being a teenager on the 13th, like that click. Like people act, there may be, it's something about older men and all, especially older women. When you get to a certain point, people think you've gone really innocent, haven't you, Mrs. Bridgman? Yes.
Yeah.
Have you got the TV on today? And it's like, who the fuck are you talking to?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They did this, that, and the other. They took on a power march during the 70s. Do you know what I mean? They
against Brexit, I'll have you know. I was to march to say I didn't want Brexit.
Yeah,
but
that innocent. But if you showed them a Joan Rivers video and go, "All right, that's what a 78-year-old looks like," ask her if she wants a cup of tea and a nap.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. And I bet the answer is fuck no. Thank you very much.
Look at the women that we watched in the Golden Girls.
Yes.
Or even how the older women Ray's put, I'm 61, speak up, Ray. Sorry, speak up. Is that what you want me to do, Mr. Turner?
Your volume up, Ray.
Yeah. So you've got like the people, the characters that were in the Mary Tyler Moore Show and Rhoda, the older characters, the older female characters were amazing in that. You've got the older characters in Golden Girls and Joan Rivers. I don't understand how we can make it clearer that older women are not innocent and virtuous. Like they somehow, their sins are covered as they get older. I don't understand. I mean, maybe we're the ones that are perpetrating it. Wow. Okay. Well, first of all, I will always interrupt what I'm saying if somebody's going to put that on a message. If anybody has enjoyed the show and would love to donate towards our tech fees, if you go to jokepit.com and type in the kitchen sink, you will see a donate button on the side of the page. Or you can go to Lucy or Sarah, because we share the money, so like whatever's easiest. But ultimately, thank you. Wow, thank you so much. It's that makes it worth it, eh? But there are so many strong female characters in TV, like Joan, like the Golden Girls. Why then somebody else is like, I'm going to write a script, and the old woman will just go, "Oh, fancy that," and that will be the whole script for them.
Yeah. Well, it's we need to write for ourselves, for myself. When yeah, we're underrepresented, aren't we? Regardless, I know I'm going to wang on about the old, sex equality, gender equality. My brain's gone a bit now. I think, but
Yeah, just
yeah,
to make the point that women don't lose it at a certain age.
yeah.
Sarah's gone off plot. I think
I'm
that's
going
not
through
to
the
mention.
menopause. I'm perimenopausal.
That's perimenopause and gin. All right. Random maestro saw that with my nan. She had a stroke. She didn't lose her marbles. Exactly. Losing sensation in half your face does not mean you can lose out your ability to think and be funny. I'm going to watch this later with my mother. You know how I do. So I'll be on this bed of the sofa. My mother will be over there. And
Last week, when you watched last week, so the messages, I was like, are you kidding me? You were like,
Why?
yes, it's funny, and you were pissing yourself. I was like, okay, cool.
Oh, it's testament that you can watch your own show back and find it funny. When you looked straight down the camera and went, I can be filthy if I want to. But my grandmother was the matriarch of our family, and she was very Joan Rivers-esque in the way that she was cutting. My mum's going to be looking at me now.
It was incredibly racist.
My grandmother, she aged like a fine vinegar. She could smell your weakness, and she would say it in the first opening line. Oh, hello, Sarah. I see you've had your hair cut short. She could.
God love the old people.
I genuinely, we haven't got anybody like Joan Rivers at the moment. I mean, Betty White has stepped up completely. She's not even doing old pranksters or whatever, old jokers.
Yeah.
There's no one really. You can't just wait for Milliken to get old.
Anyone watching? Can you think of anyone who's like an old lady like Joan Rivers, who's top of her game and amazing with the jokes? And I can't either. I really can't. Well, one of us is going to have to live long enough to get there. I mean, she's been around forever. She had talk shows. She had all her.
We've got Julie Walters, but she's acting.
She's not really she's never been a stand-up, has she?
No.
And and at least Joan was a pure stand-up. She wasn't anything else really, as much as she wanted to be. I mean, she did presenting, she did her talk shows, but she never really did acting, which is what she wanted to do. I think she was afraid to do it. If you watch the documentary, which I can fully recommend.
Oh, amazing! And what's my favourite drag queen? Bianca Del Rio.
Oh, God. Should we message Bianca?
Can
everyone message Bianca?
Yeah. Everyone message Bianca and say that she needs to get on the sink.
That might sound a bit odd. Bianca, can you come on the kitchen sink?
I want to push you, right, to start wrapping this up, because you and me, we can wang on all night. Right. I'm not going new.
Right.
All right. And it was mentioned by one of our viewers, may have been Ray, may have been Hugh. Don't roll your eyes, but it was mentioned recently.
Oh, hang on. Is it going to be a friggin' old fart again?
No.
Come on, let's have it. Who's it going to be for next week?
It's a TV show. It's a TV show.
Say again?
It's a TV show. It's on the banner.
TV show. All right. So you were reviewing a TV show. What era? What decade?
It was 4 women living in a flat.
Girls on Top.
Yeah, the final version to the young ones. We're going to review Girls on Top. Fun fact, although Ullman was in it, she never did any of the writing. It was all Wax, French and Saunders.
Well, Tracy Ullman at the time was the most successful one of all of them, wasn't she? So, and they who was the old lady in that?
Oh, I looked her up. I looked her up last night.
Fenella something. Fenella. I can't remember her surname.
Richardson, Robinson.
something like that. But she was in it, and she was amazing. She was a fantastic, funny actress in Carry. She was in Carry On Screaming. She played like the Morticia type character in that.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite films as well. Oh, can we do films? Can we start doing films? Like, can we talking about controversial Blazing Saddles? That's one of my favorites.
Oh, hang on. We'll just ask who's in charge of the show.
Oh
yeah, that's her.
Banana Fielding. Oh, Ray, well done. Bloody
Joan Greenwood, I thought it was.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong then.
But that's right, Joan Greenwood, because she was in Whiskey Galore, which is my favourite comedy film.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, well, anyone that wants to watch and review along with us, we don't get many reviewing along with us, I have to say, but we enjoy it. I hope you give us some feedback. Let us know what you think. If you want us to carry on review it, well, we want to carry on reviewing stuff.
Rayla. Give us some good feedback.
Yeah, give us some good positive feedback. We had enough of the trolls. We have the trolls repeating stuff to us in the opposite direction. I really need some food now because I've clearly lost it. This has been such a good show. Are we going to play the outro again or the intro again?
We are going to play the outro again. So everybody, just remind you, if you've enjoyed your show today with us, please go to jokepit.com, look at the Kitchen Sink fan page, and you'll be able to buy us a cuppa through the donation box there. Unfortunately, it's not like the old coffee system. We don't get names of people that donated. So Sozza, but please let us know if you've donated, and we'll probably give you a shout out, or I don't know, I'll send Sarah around with some cake as long as it's not me.
The cake won't get there, but the thought will be there.
But please do.
Thank you to everyone that's watched today. Thank you so much for coming and joining us, and hopefully join us next week where we've got Tom Glover, who's an amazing comedian from the Southwest. So please come back for that. We're every Thursday, we Lucy, 6 p.m.
Every Thursday, 6 till 8-ish.
8-esque. We want to find out what we're up to. There's 6 to 6:30. Then we have a guest on.
Yeah.
Which is 6:30 till whenever. And then we review comedy. And next week we're reviewing Girls on Top. Awesome. That's a great choice. Look forward to that.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to wave. We're going to press the outro. And we will see you all next Thursday. Mwah.
Welcome to the kitchen sink. We will chat, we will make you think. You will not want to go to the loo. You could miss a lot if you have that poo. Stay and watch and join in. Yeah.